What would you do if you waited for somebody you loved year after year with no sign, no explanation, believing that someday they would return? How long could you hold on to hope before it turns into something darker? Tonight, we unravel the tragic tale of a love that never came to be, and the woman who waited for a promise that was never kept. In the heart of Santa Ana, a town shattered by the echoes of civil war, there was a love story like no other. It was a tale of devotion, loss, and promise unkept. The story of Julia and Raphael, two young souls deeply in love whose bond was destined to defy time and fate. Julia, with her gentle heart and soulful eyes, was a woman who believed in love more than anything. Raphael, a hard-working young man from a humble background, did everything in his power to build a future with her. They had been inseparable since adolescence, and together they shared the dream of a life filled with love, family, and happiness. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. Raphael worked tirelessly on a coffee farm just outside the city, saving every penny to propose to Julia. When he finally gathered enough, under the shade of an ancient ceiba tree, its roots gnarled like the hands of an old spirit, he asked for her hand in marriage. Julia, tears of joy streaming down her face, said yes, and they set a date for their wedding. But life had a way of pulling them apart. Raphael was offered a job on a distant farm, a chance to earn more money for their future. He promised Julia that he would return in 3 months, in time for their wedding. He kissed her, gave her a letter to hold until his return, and left with a promise he never intended to break. Weeks passed, then months, but Raphael never returned. Julia, growing more anxious with each passing day, went to the farm where he had been working, but no one had seen him. The workers told her that he had left days ago on his way back to Santa Ana, but that was the last anyone had heard of him. Julia searched high and low, asking every person she met if they had seen Raphael, but no one had any answers. It was as if the earth itself had swallowed him whole. Some whispered that Raphael had vanished under mysterious circumstances, while others spoke of a darker force guiding him away from his true path. Days turned to months, months turned to years, but Julia never gave up. Every evening, just before the sun dipped below the horizon, she went to the ceiba tree. There, under the shade of its white trunk and rustling leaves, she waited. The air around her was thick with the scent of earth and coffee, but there was always a chill, as if something unseen lingered in the shadows. She wore the white dress she had saved for her wedding, sitting quietly, waiting for Raphael to return. Neighbors passing by would glance at her with pity, wondering how much longer she would stay there, waiting for a love that seems increasingly impossible. The years went on, and Julia became more than a woman waiting for her lost love. She became a legend. It was said that late at night, if you passed the Seva tree, you could hear soft whispers carried on the wind, as if Julia was still speaking to Raphael. Some swore that the air around the tree grew unnaturally cold, and shadows seemed to flicker among the trees, moving just out of sight. Others believed Julia was cursed, a woman trapped in a never-ending waiting for a love that would never return. The rumor spread, and people began to speak of the strange happenings near the tree, but still, Julia waited. Then, after decades of waiting, Julia stopped coming to the tree. When people searched for her, they found her in her small, decaying house, sitting as if she were still waiting for Raphael. She wore the same white dress, the one she had hoped to wear on their wedding day. In her hands, she held the letter she had given him all those years ago. A faint smile on her face, as though in her final moments she had finally seen him again. The air in the room was still, heavy with the weight of time. The world seemed to hold its breath. Julia's story became a tragic legend in Santa Ana. Some believe that her spirit still roams the earth, trapped between this world and the next, never able to let go of her love. On certain nights, especially around the time their wedding was meant to take place, people say they see a figure in white under the ceiba tree. The tree, now older and darker, groans in the wind, its twisted branches reaching out like arms in the night. And the ground around it, once warm with the light of day, feels cold, touched by sorrow and loss. If you are ever near a tree, especially at dusk, be careful. Some say that if you listen closely, you might hear a voice, a soft, mournful call, as if asking the night itself, Raphael, is that you? Is that you? And so, the story of Julia and Raphael lives on, forever bound to the ceiba tree, where love and loss became one. The broken promise of a love that never came to be. If you've been captivated by the tragic tale of Julia and Raphael, don't forget to subscribe to the Midnight Spectres for more stories that will leave you questioning the shadows around you. We release a new video every Friday at midnight, so make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this video with friends who dare to listen to tales of love, loss, and the unexplained. And if you've ever felt a chill in the air or heard whispers when the night is still, leave a comment below and share your own experiences with us. Your stories might just be the next one we tell. Thank you for joining us in tonight's tale of love, loss, and the shadows that never fade. But remember, we're never truly alone in the dark. See you in the next Midnight Spectre story. But be careful, because you never know who or what might be watching you.